morning. Welcome into our 5th episode of Well Read, Well Said, the book club. We are glad to have you joining us. And if you're not joining us right now, or you want to join us in other ways, you can always become part of our Facebook group. It's Well Read, Well Said, the WTOL 11 Plus book club. We have about 1,700 members. And we have a lot of fun discussions, we have questions, and even play some fun games on our Facebook club. So make sure you join that as well. So today for this episode, we're at the beginning of June. So we picked a new book last week. The book that we chose is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. The genre that this is mystery thriller. Online, it says it's a psychological thriller.
Ooh,
I like that. Yeah. So
I often don't understand them, but
make you think.
Yeah.
Lots of twists and turns. So we pulled up the online summary. It's Grady calls his wife to share some exciting news as she's driving home. He hears Abby, his wife, slam on the brakes, get out of the car, then nothing. When he eventually finds her car by the cliff edge with the headlights on, the driver door is still open, her phone is still there, but his wife has disappeared. A year later, Grady is still overcome with grief and desperate to know what happened to his wife. He can't sleep, he can't write. So he ends up traveling to a tiny Scottish island to try to get his life back on track. Then he sees the impossible, a woman who looks exactly like his missing wife. Wives think their husbands will change, but they don't. Husbands think their wives won't change, but they do.
So this is probably like a Gone Girl.
A little bit. That's what I'm thinking.
Did she leave
You've started
him?
reading that. Okay, are we allowed to talk about whether it's like Gone Girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the only one who's
I've
into
seen,
it.
I've seen the movie.
Gone Girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's with Ben Affleck, I think. And there's a lot of twists and turns. I've seen it a while ago. So
But is a book like a Gone Girl?
Is it comparable?
I haven't read the book.
This book?
The new
This book? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I have a lot of questions. I haven't gotten a lot of answers yet. But yeah, so I'm plugging along. I'm enjoying it though.
Okay.
That's good.
We'll share some quick thoughts. It's
better than we have
It'll
been.
be quick, because some people are at the very beginning.
Some
Me,
people haven't even started.
Alexis and Melissa.
We blame our children, right?
Yeah,
we can
it
just
was
blame
just
our
busy.
children.
Yeah, mine, I didn't get the book until Friday, so I wasn't even able to start until Sunday. So I've only had a
But
day
has
and
it
a half
been
to read.
quick?
Yeah.
So far,
Did it
quick
grip
reading?
you?
Yeah.
Right in the beginning?
I want to keep reading it. I've just
Good,
been busy
good,
the
good.
last couple days, but I'm 30 pages in. So
And I feel
not
like the
very far.
chapters aren't really super long and drawn out, so that makes you consume
only
a little
going
bit
up.
more. Yeah, yeah.
It is
After last
good.
time.
I'm very curious to see where things go. I'm past the point of her disappearing, and I'm to the point where he's now at the island. So
But
so
the
he goes there right
synopsis
away.
makes me think she took off.
But did she?
that's what I
did
think.
she?
But then
Yeah.
it said what about the husbands and the wives? It says,
Yeah, it says wives think their husbands will change, but they don't. Husbands think their wives won't change,
So
but
that
they
makes me
do.
think maybe she took off to this island and faked a little disappearance.
Something.
Or
Maybe
maybe
there's something we don't
something's
know about
more
him.
going on.
Like maybe he's got some hidden secrets.
That's why I like these kinds of books.
Yeah, he's already there are a few things about his character and traits that have some red flags for
okay.
me already. And I'm in the 3rd chapter.
I
so.
also feel like he makes some questionable decisions too.
What chapter are you on?
I am in the teens. I'm 44% of the way through.
Okay.
This woman will eat up the book.
I do, but I don't have kids. I, have a dog, and besides that, I come home from work and I read.
And you're listening to it, which is different than how we've done our last book. So I think sometimes listening, you can get through a book faster.
Well, I'm also listening at 2.0 speed, so
Crazy person.
yeah,
It's
you're
not-
you're listening at 1.0 speed, and I feel like it's
Ooh, slow-mo.
The whole point of listening to it.
Alexis.
The whole point of listening to it is like the emotion that you're hearing in their words and how they're like acting it out. And you're still over here listening to it at 2 and it sounds like a chipmunk. It's like, I'm like, you can't connect with anything that they're saying.
It's like on TikTok, you know, when they're like just talking. Sometimes you just gotta like hold the thing down.
Well, that's
so it
usually
speeds
because
up.
it's like get to the point.
You need to pay attention to what's happening in the book. You're gonna miss half of the stuff that's
Are
happening.
you telling me that I'm not paying attention to the book?
I don't know how you are because it's
ears.
just like just going whoosh
bringing
through
that
it.
knowledge.
It's funny how we all have such different ways
You
to
don't
read.
listen to audiobooks very much, right?
No, I have. Megan and I were talking about this the other week. I'd like to give it another try. Sometimes I'll click on the sample, and I don't think I have the attention span for that.
If you speed it up, you might. I do speed mine up. Not 2.
2 is
But-
crazy.
but
Maybe
I-
a 1.5.
I do mine on like
I've done
1.25 to 1.5.
Yeah, but 2 is like so fast.
Yeah.
But I think for you to try an audiobook, you should do a book that you've already read before. And
That was her advice,
And
yeah.
ease yourself in, and that way you kind of get the feel of it. I listen to audiobooks when I am in the car on the way to and from work, and I listen when I go for walks in my neighborhood.
Are
I do
there
when I'm
any
doing laundry.
platforms where you can, without spending like double the money, where you can get 2 formats? Because I feel like I would like to listen to and from work, but like I do like to actually read.
Yeah, Libby, you can get both formats.
And then if you have Kindle Unlimited and you get the Audible, it'll actually match up
Where
where
you
you're
are.
listening
Yep.
to
So
where
if you're in the
Yeah, Libby
car
doesn't.
You guys might
and
have
you're
to help me out with
listening,
that.
Yeah.
and then you get home and you're like, okay, I'm gonna sit in
It'll
bed and I'm
jump.
reading.
Yeah.
It'll jump to
You
where
might have
you
to help me
left
out
off.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do the audio like Megan when I reread. Sometimes I'm done reading the series with my eyes, and when I go to reread, I listen to it. So
It just makes like chores more enjoyable for me. I just do like while I'm doing laundry, I'll like listen to a book, or when I'm cleaning the bathroom, just so I'm
Doing
not
the
Yeah,
dishes.
dishes. Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna move to our trivia question for the day today. The question is, which 2012 psychological thriller
Oh,
by
there you go.
Gillian Flynn features an unreliable narrator and a missing wife?
Did I ruin it?
I feel
for
like
you?
we already talked about this.
You might have. It's okay. Some people might not know it. I think all of us. You know what? You guys would all get an A today.
Yay.
Hopefully,
Yay.
you guys all get it.
Yeah.
First one ever.
There's not
about
many
time.
that we've done, but okay, we've got a break. We'll be right back, and we've got more that we're going to break down today. Okay, so since we're not too far into this book, this is very our surface level episode. We've got some other things that we want to talk about, and one of those is the New York Times top 10. So Megan, take it away.
Okay.
What are we hearing about today?
So this is the New York Times print and ebook top 10 books for the week. And I thought this was really interesting. There are some on this list that I'm like, ooh, I want to read. Some that I've already read. No surprise, some are romance, but there's a little bit of something for everyone in this list. So the first book is Nightshade by Michael Connelly, and I feel like this would be more up your alley, Melissa. It is the Los Angeles County Sheriff's detective gets reassigned to Catalina Island, where he investigates a poaching case and a Jane Doe found in the harbor.
Poaching.
That's like animals.
Yeah, and fish, probably, or wildlife.
That would be interesting. What is
So-
what genre is that?
I believe that is like a mystery
Oh, a
or
mystery
Yeah,
one?
hopefully
Okay.
he finds a body instead is what Alexis said. I don't think I could get behind
Alexis is in the true crime
Poaching
mystery
mystery.
thriller.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next one.
The next one, this is on my TBR, is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. It is a fantasy sort of with magic and
That
all
looks like
different
something
kinds
you
of.
would read.
It does, right?
The cover,
The cover is
screams
Megan.
Megan.
All over
I was
it.
thinking the same thing.
So this one is about Sybil Delling, who is gifted with the power of foresight, and she forms an alliance with a heretical knight when her sister diviners disappear.
Oh.
So she's gonna get it on with the knight.
Oh my God. She might.
Probably. It's probably going to be a slow burn, though. It's not going to be like insta love.
Or you don't know.
Melissa just says it how it is.
Right.
How it is.
I gotta decode
She's
all
not
that.
wrong.
You're not. And it's fantasy. It's romantasy.
Romantasy.
This one's romantasy.
Yeah.
This one is romantasy. It's Iron Flame, and this is the second book in the Empyrean series. Violet Sorrengail's next round of training under the new vice commandant might require her to betray the man she loves. So
Is this on your list?
We've
read it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, all of you.
Is the most recent, is Onyx Storm on this top 10?
no.
Oh yeah.
So people are
so
behind
this
us
isn't a
right
new
now.
book, but it's on the top
first
10.
one.
Oh, this one came out a
while
year
ago.
and a half ago, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Because the newest
I
one
think
came out
that
in
this
January
is
or February.
have a resurgence because the paperback just came
Oh,
out.
that's true. That's true.
Paperback of Onyx Storm.
Oh, I should read. I should read
Paperback
that
of
for
Iron
the
Flame
fourth
with the
time.
dragons on the
What they're
side.
talking about.
That one's a good
Onyx
one.
You should
Storm
read
and
that.
Iron
You should
Flame.
read
It's a
that
good
one.
one.
You would actually probably really like that one.
You told me that you
like
were like,
Hunger
I'm
Games."
not signing up for series, but if you were ever in the mood, I think you'd enjoy it.
It's a commitment, a little bit more of a commitment.
Yep. The next one is probably one that you'd want to read, The Tenant by Frida McFadden. Have you read that one yet?
No, but I like her book.
Yeah, I do too.
Yep. So that one is things take an unsettling turn when a marketing executive loses his job and a woman rents a room in his brownstone.
So they're gonna also get it on.
No, Frida. It's
She's more thriller. She's
Thriller.
more
She's thriller.
It's like
Well, I think
Housemaid. Like
They probably
yeah.
will, but there may be a murdery part.
But then
to
they'll
it,
kill
so-
each other or
Right.
something. I don't know, yeah. They'll
They'll
be
probably
death.
kill each other. Whoa, Alexis.
After the
That's a
romance.
little
Is that what
morbid.
the coworker does too? in this
look-
one?
there's
Yeah,
blood
we
on
do
the
have
cover.
we do
there.
have one of her books right here. We are all saying this one looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah, the coworker.
The coworker.
That one's
Two
not on the
women
top
in an
10.
office filled with secrets. One terrible crime that can't be taken
Oh yeah.
back.
See.
The
I'm gonna have to
coworker.
just put that right over here later.
All right. What's our next one,
The
Megan?
number 5 is one that you've read, Rewind It Back
Ooh, I
by
just
Liz
wrote
Tom
one.
Ford.
That's coming up on my list.
Yep, that's the 5th book in the Windy City series. Hallie Hart gets assigned to a renovation project for a hockey player who was her first crush.
Oh, that one
See,
was
that's a
so
get it on one.
good.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But that's a series. That's the Windy City series.
Yes. I've read 2 of those.
It's the end of the series.
And
Yeah.
you've read
Is this-
all of them
I've
except
read
for this one?
4. This is his 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've read 4. You've read all.
It's a complete
complete
series.
series. The 5.
So it's done.
And
They're
it's
good, though.
bingeable.
Yeah, read those real quick.
I read that book in
In like 2 days, right?
days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, number 6 is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune.
I think I read that.
This is a photographer returns to a place where she spent a summer as a teenager and runs into the guy she had a crush on back then.
Yes, I did read. I read that.
You
Was
did?
it good?
All of her books are cute.
Okay.
She has a whole. It's like a series of summer ones, I think. They're not connected.
This
but
is what they call beach trash.
beach reads.
Beach
yeah.
reads.
It was cute. It's a cute open and closed book. Done.
Nice read on the beach.
Yep.
Yep. The next one I have on my list is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry.
I haven't read that.
I think I just isn't that in the Reese's book club right now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I
it
saw
is.
that on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yep, and this is about a writer looking for her big break, competes against a Pulitzer winner to tell the story of an octogenarian with a storied past.
I feel like a lot of her books have authors or writers as
The main characters.
character, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Her books
Book
are
lovers
great.
were in the
Beach
publishing
read.
industry.
Book lovers, and then what's the other?
Oh, it's
Isn't it Beach Read? Isn't that what it's called?
Did do that one?
Yeah, she
There's
did.
another one that's really popular. I can't think of it.
Yeah,
But it was good.
they're very good, bingeable books. Number 8 is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. This is kind of a off-the-wall premise, in my opinion. A widow working the night shift at the Sowell Bay Aquarium is aided in solving a mystery by a giant Pacific octopus living there.
Okay.
Okay, is this like sci-fi?
Does it talk?
It's got to be
What's
like
the
sci-fi,
genre,
right?
Megan?
That I don't know. I don't have that on. But my mom has read this book and she really liked it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Does it just like
one's-
tap on the aquarium and say like, look over there, look over there?
Squid arms.
I don't know if that one's getting put on my list. Next.
Number 9, The Emperor of Gladness. A young man becomes the caretaker of an elderly widow and they form a bond over the course of a year. That sounds
one
like
might
it
be
would be
good.
sad, but good.
Okay.
I think that sounds interesting.
Yeah. And then number 10 is My Friends by Frederick Bachman. And this is about a young woman who looks into the story behind a painting that was made 25 years ago and a small group of teens depicted in it.
I think that sounds good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some new books to add to our TBR, Mel.
What's that stand for again?
To be read.
Look at you.
I wasn't wrong in the group chat. I knew what
You meant to say.
I knew we were having a group chat about, I don't even remember. Can you say? What was it? And I said
I posted a meme.
DNF, and then you were like, that's not what I
It
mean.
was about the last book that we were reading.
You said it was
wasn't
DNF, but it was actually a TBR,
TBR?
like list
Yeah.
that was really long or something, I think.
A TBR mountain.
Yeah.
Instead of a TBR list, it's a TBR mountain. And you were like, we should normalize this and DNF. And we were like,
like,
that's
no.
not what that means, though.
Something happened.
I know what I meant, and I was right.
Yes.
I know what the two acronyms mean,
Kind of.
but it was in a text chain.
And sometimes that gets misconstrued.
Yeah.
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 So let's talk about some of the books we've checked off of our TBR. Who's first on our list? I didn't write down who was first. I think it was Megan.
Oh.
Okay, so what books have you read
So after we finished the Mormon book, I needed a 5-star read and a win.
Right.
And so I picked Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. And so Devney Perry is like the queen of contemporary romance, and this is her debut romantasy series. It's supposed to be a trilogy. And it's about a girl who gets picked as a bride prize from the neighboring kingdom for the Shield of Sparrows treaty. And so she goes off with him into his land and his area.
This is
This is a lot.
It was
Okay.
so good. It
And
was
then they
so
get
good.
it on.
5-star.
It was a 5-star read for me. I ate this up.
We know where
from
this is all going.
cover to cover. And then
We love you, Megan. We love you.
I love you guys.
We just
too.
know what kind of books Megan likes.
They gotta have the boom booms and.
Okay. What was your other book, Megan?
This was The Tale of the Heart Queen, and it was the final.
Fantasies?
Both fantasies,
Okay.
and it was.
She really
the-
needed to get back to her roots.
I did, and this was the last book in the Artifacts of Urano series, and I would recommend this series if there was anybody that wanted to dip their toes into like the fantasy genre. I think this is a really good series to do that. It's got a very simple magic system, very simple world building. So
What's a magic system and world building?
like
Just
different powers
and things like that.
yeah.
Not too complicated. Usually in a fantasy book,
There's
things
different-
with
yeah.
time, like
Time travel.
going back in time travel, stopping time,
get
gets
confusing.
really complicated. So like simple magics are like reading minds, lifting things up, like that type of stuff.
Yeah. So those were both 5-star reads for me.
There you go. I don't know who's next in our slides. Is it me?
It's a surprise.
We'll see who it is. Let's pull up the next one. It's
Oh.
Mel.
Oh, so I just finished Original Sin by Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson. This was in the news a lot lately because Jake Tapper obviously has worked at CNN for decades, and Alex Thompson is from Politico, and they just came out with a book about the covering up within the White House and the Biden administration and the Biden family of Joe Biden's mental decline. And the reason it's been making so many headlines is because people feel like Jake Tapper is not one that should be talking about covering it up, because when you're a journalist, you should be the one asking questions when you notice things. And he was actively not only not asking questions, but he was rudely dismissing people who were bringing up the mental decline. So as a journalist, I am very interested in this. I'm mad at him because I do feel like he should have asked the questions, but I also just wanted to find out what he found out in talking to more than 200 people, mostly Democrats, about the cover-up of all this. So I thought that was, I thought it was a good book, and got through it pretty quickly. It was just interesting to hear some of what was going on behind the scenes at the White House, and how they were kind of keeping the president very,
Protected.
like he only walked a certain way, a short distance, or sometimes he had very short visits, so only worked between these certain hours, or
Oh, that's
even people in his own cabinet didn't see him for more than a year. So that's really what I was interested in finding out about.
Did you read it on your Kindle or
Yes.
physical book? Okay, cool. I think the next one is mine. I have read 3 books since we finished the Under the Banner book. So the first one is Rewind It Back. We just talked about that, by Liz Tomford. The last one in this series, so it's a complete one. It's an athlete romance book. Deepened is Allie Hazelwood's book. That was a 4-star read for me.
Ooh.
No, 3-star
Yeah.
actually. 3-star. It was okay.
Not the
I
best.
liked it. Yeah.
Oh, you read it too?
It was okay. And then my last one was Taming the Heart. I got that as an ARC, which is an advanced reader copy, so I got it before it was out. I gave that one 5 stars. That was really good. And that's a small town, like, cowboy romance one. So I went back to my roots and I read a couple romance ones before we got this one. And then Alexis?
I also went back to what I normally read. The Abby Jimenez one I'd been waiting a while for is a new one that just came out by her. She's pretty popular. She's a rom-com kind of writer. I
Got that from the library.
Got it from the library. There was I think there was like a 12-week wait when it came out. She's like really popular. It was super cute. I think I gave it like 4 stars. It's just a good all-around little just like love story. I'm about halfway through Story of My Life, which is why I haven't started this one, because I told myself I'm not going to start this one until I finish Story of My Life. But it's a Lucy Score book, and she's a romance author that I really like.
Yeah. Well, we do have a
Small
couple
town.
more weeks
Yeah.
before this needs to be finished. We know we're still very early on, unless you're Megan. So
And you are a rather fast reader.
Once when I'm into it, yeah.
Yeah.
I've just been busy, but I'll get through it.
if you're looking for something bookish to do later on this year, the Toledo Public Library is having the Toledo Romance Con.
I'm excited for that.
I'm
Are you
planning
gonna go
on
this year?
going
Try
this
to,
year.
yeah.
Megan was the only one who went last year. And so this year, they're hoping to have more people. Last year, they had 2,500 people attend. It was the first time they had best-selling author Abby Jimenez there. You just
See,
finished
yeah.
her book, Alexis.
Great.
Catherine Moon, Julie Soto, and a handful of others. And so here's who will be featured this year. They have Kennedy Ryan, Nikki Payne, Chip Pons, CM Nicosta, and Julie Soto will be featured authors, and then 50 other authors will be there. It's free, and we've got all of our information on WTOL.com about that. So that should be fun later this year, November, right?
Yep, November 8th.
They have
you like
super cute like
romance.
merchandise you can buy there, like
Yeah,
cute little
they
romance sweatshirts and
They
stuff.
had Jute Mode had the romance reader. They had the trope T-shirt. They had all kinds of cool stuff there.
Okay, we want to do a chapter check-in. So we know that us here are not very far in, but we have one of our directors here at our station that's taking part in this month's book club, Shay. And she is close to finishing the book this morning. She told me she has 30 pages left. Says the book starts slow, but the last 100 pages are wild.
Oh.
So
And I was wondering what our Facebook group is thinking about the book.
we've got people on Facebook too. We asked them yesterday their thoughts on the book. Deborah says she loved the story. Christine says, so far, so good. I messaged Christine to see how far she is in the book, but she hasn't responded back yet. And then Terry says she recently finished it. And yeah, so lots of good things
I
going
think it's
on.
gonna be good then.
Yeah, I'm excited about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And Megan's almost through it, so we would know if it was going to be bad.
Yeah. Shoot.
I would. Okay, we have a game, but I'm going to move our game down to the next block. So
Okay.
we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to do our game, and then have the answer to the trivia question. Okay? Okay, I'm naming this game the Killer Line.
Ooh.
You have to decide if this line is real or made up. The real lines come from a psychological thriller book, an actual book. Bonus points if you know what book it comes from, but you just only have to tell me if you think it's real or not. Okay. And then I'll give you one hint. One is from a line that turned a book into a movie, and then another book is one that I think we have all read before.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one.
So wait, the line could either be totally made up or it comes from a book.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes I think I killed her.
I think that's real.
Real meaning what?
From a
That
book.
it,
That came
that
from
it
a
comes
book.
from
Yeah.
a book.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Sounds like a book.
Okay, it did. It's from Gone Girl.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, number two. They're all lying, every last one of them.
I think that's from a book.
Yeah. Same.
It feels like something I've read, but I'm not sure.
I think it's fake. I think it's not.
You're wrong, Megan. It's from a book. It's from The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Okay, number three. I watched them bury her and she still smiled at me.
Ooh, if that's not from a book, it should be in a book because that's a great line. I'm gonna say it's in a book because
I
why,
said it's
why
in a
wouldn't
book.
you write that? That's a great line.
It's not.
Oh, you made that up?
It's made up. It's made up.
Say that again. Say that line again.
I watched them bury her and she still smiled at me.
Yeah.
You want to act it out, Mel?
No. But we're working on something.
We are working on that. Okay, next one. I suppose a killer always goes back to the scene of the crime.
That's from
I
a
think
book.
that's from a book.
Do
Yeah.
you know which book?
This is one that she means we have all read,
Yeah.
right?
She's like, this is the one we. Oh.
No, this is not the one.
okay.
that we've all read.
I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, this one is from The Silent Patient.
I had that on my desk to read, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay, number six.
It's hard to remember if I read something.
It's hard. And it's only one line.
Well,
too.
and I read so much that I.
Yeah. Okay, next one. It's not murder if you never admit it out loud.
Ooh. I'm gonna say that's not from a book.
If it's not, it should be. I say it's not.
Boom book.
You're wrong. It's not. It's made up.
Dang it.
Okay, last one. Dead doesn't mean gone.
I think that's in a book.
That sounds like a Frida McFadden book.
Dead doesn't mean. I'm gonna say not in a book.
Oh, it is in a book, and the book is Verity by Colleen Hoover.
Oh,
Like we've all read.
I read that.
I
one.
haven't
We've
read
all-
that one.
Oh.
Verity?
That's like the one of hers you haven't read. You need to read that.
Now I guess
That's
I
gonna be a
need to
movie.
read
That's
it.
gonna be a movie too.
By the next time we sit on this couch.
I will have read
yeah,
Verity.
you need
Oh
to
my
read
gosh, I'm
Verity. It's really
surprised
good.
that
There's
you
a lot
haven't
of
read that. That
lot
was
of
so
twists and turns.
That was
at one point, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a movie now too.
Yeah, it is. Okay, we've got our trivia question. We've got to get to that and the answer. So the question, which 2012 psychological thriller by Gillian Flynn features an unreliable narrator and a missing wife?
I think we all know the answer.
Ben Affleck.
Yep.
Yep.
Gone Girl was the answer. So you guys had that when I asked it the first time.
Yeah.
That was an easy one.
That was an easy one. I didn't want to go too hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if I actually read that book, but I definitely seen the movie.
I've seen the
saw the
movie. I haven't read the
I
book.
don't think I read the book either.
Yeah.
The movie was good. I'd
movie
watch
was
that
good.
again.
Yeah, I did like the movie.
A lot of people said that the actress from that book, her name is Rosamund Pike, should have been Verity in the Verity book.
Oh.
Because she's
Oh,
kind
I
of like
would've
really
liked
creepy and dark.
creepy.
But I think Anne Hathaway is obviously a great actress. I think she'll be good too.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the movie because I really liked that book when we read it.
It was really
and
good.
How they're gonna do
It was
it.
very easy to visualize and picture how it could be a movie. Dakota Johnson's in that one too,
Yeah.
I think, right?
And
Yeah,
Does
Josh
she
Josh
play
Hartnett.
Lowen,
Yes.
She's like the one, the maid.
maid.
Yeah, the maid.
Okay.
Or whatever. Yeah.
the Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Spoiler
I need to
alert.
reread that. It's been a long time.
That's
before I
not a
see the movie.
spoiler. The Ghost Rider? No, that's not a spoiler.
Okay.
Oh, she gets hired.
Well,
yeah,
we'll
right
just
away.
give you a synopsis. It's been a
Okay.
few years since we read it. So there's a ghostwriter that gets hired by an author or husband
A
to write
husband
the
to
rest of
write
his
wife's
wife's book
books.
because she's ill.
Okay.
And then a bunch of crazy stuff happens.
Okay.
It's a good
like
one.
crazy.
I'm intrigued.
But there is romance in it.
There is
Yeah, you will like
Weird.
that.
weird.
All right, our next episode for Well Read, Well Said will be at the end of this month, June 24th.
So that's when we have to read the book
Get the
by.
book,
Yeah,
Yep.
read the book by
Darn.
June 24th. You can still get it
21 days.
at
You can do it.
libraries. You can get it on your Kindle if that's how you read.
It's available if you have a Spotify premium membership. You can listen to it on Spotify.
And it's a really short book, too. I looked
Right.
at how many pages it was. It was like 306.
I got it transferred to my library in like a day. 'Cause it was at another branch. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Are you
thanks so
are you
much.
reading it on?
No, I got the physical book.
Oh, that's your book.
Yeah, can we wait real
I
quick
got
before
the
we
same
go?
one.
Because I know we need to go. Guys, I've talked about this. It's a hard cover. Do you know how my pinkies are gonna
It's an
my
effort.
pinkies are gonna hurt with this. They
There
already
should come
are
with a warning
hurting.
label.
You have to hold
You
it.
know, they make things to keep the book
You mean like
open.
when you go like this?
Yeah, because I
to
read
hold
it
Forever.
like this. You know, you put your
You get like,
Oh,
you get
you
like
don't
a cramp.
do
And then a
both
thumb,
hands?
yeah, and my thumb, and then my pinky, my whole hand.
You need to get a
starts hurting.
hardcover book holder
I should.
because you have your little
then I feel
soft
like you have
pillow
to, like-
thing that you were supposed to bring in and show us.
Oh, you know what? I will bring that in for everyone. Yeah. Oh, we
no.
lost it.
This is
Good thing I'm
hard.
Now
only
you
on
don't know where-
page 28.
Now you're on page 42.
Thanks, Mel. All right, we're done messing around. Thanks so much for joining us on today's episode of Well Read, Well Said. You can always join the conversation with us on Facebook. Bye.